Apologies for my tardiness, young scholars. I was checking the email I had received from the tech staff to open up for you in case we do not see the ribbon that we need in order to use GoalSeek today. So first I want to touch on, we still have 8 young scholars who have not joined a group just yet. So what I might end up doing is adding one to the group with Jadir and Viswal, and adding one to the group with Mariah and Leanne. And then putting the other 6 into 2 separate groups. Again, if you know any of these individuals, pick 2 of them. There'll be a group, email me, and I'll set that up. I'm trying to get all the groups set up by the end of the week so that you guys have plenty of time to work on that group project. So all we are going to do today is the GoalSeek exercise. And you're going to notice here there's no file. That's because the GoalSeek is Excel Homework 6. You may recall me mentioning that I had stated that only the first 5 homeworks you guys do together, or on your own rather. The rest of them we do together. That starts today. So we're going to do homework 6 GoalSeek together today. And then next week we're going to do homework 7 pivot tables together. So if you click on that Excel homework number 6, you see download the GoalSeek file and complete the 4 assignments, each in their own worksheet using GoalSeek. Submit your Excel file with your answers. So simply click the down caret here by GoalSeek and press the down with the little box around it to download. And you should get a file that looks like this. Problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4 worksheets, all inside of it. So the purpose of GoalSeek is basically to find out if you do something, what will happen. So, basically, ideally, you guys are all going to college with the hopes of getting a good job when you graduate. So that would be technically a what if analysis. What if I go to college and get a degree in computer science, business, whatever it may be, and then graduate? Will I get that good job? That's basically what GoalSeek looks to check out. What if I do something? What happens? So once everybody has these open, here in problem number 1 worksheet, we're going to calculate in column D the total pay of each of our 3 people, Ed, Mary, and Charles. So we take our current pay rate, B2, times the number of hours worked per week, C2. And we change that format from a number to currency, so it's $480. We click back in and autofill down. So our GoalSeek question says, what raise percentage can I give to increase my payroll by $70? So we have to find out what our total payroll is. So we can click the sideways M to give our auto sum, which automatically highlights the 3 before it. If not, type in that range of D2 colon D4. And we have a total of 1563.75. And now we're going to change that, add the $70 to it. So if you go to the data tab, you should see off to the side here, it says what if analysis. If you don't have that, let me know. I will put the two links here that the um, help desk sent us into the chat. All right, so everybody has that then. Okay. So if we select what if analysis, there's three drop downs: scenario manager, goal seek, and data table. We want to use goal seek. So you'll notice this little pop-up comes up asking you to put in three pieces of information: the set cell, the to value, and by changing cell. So our set cell is going to be the absolute value of D5. So $D, $5, because that's what we're changing. That is our set cell. Then to value is 1633.75, which is simply our $1,563.75 plus the $70 we're increasing the paper. And then the by changing cell is what piece of information that you're going to change. So in this instance, I went through and looked in the current pay rate and decided to change Ed's rate of pay because he's making the lowest amount of the three individuals. So once you do that and click OK, the 1563 will change to 1633, and the $12 will also change. So I click OK, it runs through, and now Ed's rate of pay is $13.75 after the change in the total by adding the $70. So we click OK with that display, click back onto Ed here, his current pay rate, and make it bold to show us that it's been changed. But we still have to answer our question. What raise percentage did I give to increase the payroll by 70%? So you may remember how we calculated previously. We take our new rate of pay minus the 12 he had initially, close parentheses, divided by his old rate of pay, $12. And we hit enter. We end up with 0.145833. So we click up here in the number pane and we make it a percentage, and it's 14.58%. And to show that's an answer we're providing, we just fold it out as well. So that is problem 1. Anything I need to review on that one? No? Well, please let me know, because like I said, this is homework 6. So if you're behind on anything here, feel free to ask a question. All right, then we'll move on to problem number 2 worksheet. So we're given two questions here. We have the information of Tom is making $10 an hour. So the first question says, Tom now makes $10 per hour and he is told he's getting a 30% increase. Write a formula in cell C2 that calculates Tom's new hourly rate. So we simply do equals. We select the $10 from B2 and multiply it by 1.3, which is the 1 represents that $10 and the 0.3 represents that 30% increase. So obviously this is pretty basic. 1.3 times 10 should give you $13. So we bold that because that's question 1. Then question 2 says, Tom now makes $10 per hour and works 40 hours a week. He told he's getting an increase of $2.50 per hour. Write a formula in cell D2 that calculates Tom's rate increase percent. So we do equals, open parentheses, 12.5, which is the $10 plus the $2.50. It's our new pay rate, minus B2, which is the old pay rate, close parentheses, divided by B2, which is the old pay rate. When you click that, you get 0.25, but it's supposed to be a percentage. So we click up into the number pane and select percentage. Then we end up with 25%. And we bold it out so we know it's our answer. Those two were fairly simple. We've done the pay rates a couple times now. Is there any of those that I have to review? No? Okay, good. This problem 3 now takes us a little bit of time to complete. So you'll see here, problem 3 has some assumptions in it. Assume you have completed your freshman year. In your second semester, you took English and got a C plus, math and got a B plus, physics got a B, Mandarin and got a B. The number of credits for these courses is 3 for English and Mandarin and 4 for physics and math because they may have a lab component. Your first semester, you took 14 credits and had a GPA of 2.92. Your goal was to get at least a cumulative 3.15 GPA for the entire year. You think that your Mandarin teacher will be able to raise your grade. You might be able to convince him. So what grade would you need in Mandarin in the second semester to get an overall GPA of 3.15 for the first year? Note that the numeric equivalent of an A is 4, B is 3, B plus is 3.33, C is 2, C plus is 2.33, and D is 1. And I'll show you guys that momentarily, but that's how GPAs are calculated. And lastly, it says don't use VLOOKUP to get the numeric grade equivalent. Enter the numeric values of the grade. So in row A, I'm going to type in our possible, or column A rather, I'm going to type in our grade possibilities here. A, B plus, B, C plus, C, D. And then in column B, I'm going to type in those number equivalents given here in row 19. 4, 3.33, 3, 2.33, 2, and 1. And I'm going to skip column C, and in column D, I'm going to write the name of our courses: English, Mandarin, Math, and Physics. And in column E, I'm going to type in the grades that we received in these classes, as mentioned here in row 12. So English C+, Math B+, Physics B, Mandarin B. And then in column F, I'm going to put the total number of credits mentioned here in row 13. 3 for English and Mandarin, 4 for Math and Physics. So 3, 3, 4.
Wait, why is English 3 if it says if you put 2.33?
Those are the number of credits. The number of credits for these courses are 3 for English and Mandarin, 4
Oh,
for
yeah,
Math
yeah.
and Physics.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
Jumping ahead a little. All right, so in column G, we're now going to calculate what are called earned credit hours. So for English, since we have a C+, we do equals F1, our number of credits, multiplied by B4, which represents our quality points for the C+, 2.33. So since you had a 3-credit English class, you could have earned a possible 12 quality points. But since you got a C+, it's just a 6.99. And we do the same for Mandarin. We select F2, the 3 credits, multiplied by, oh, we got a B, so we select B3. So out of the 12 possible quality points, we got 9. Now, because math and physics are out of 4 credits, there's a possibility for 16 quality points. So we do equals 4, which is the F3, multiplied by, this is a B plus, so we select B2, the 3.33. And we end up with 13.32 out of a possible 16. And then we do the same thing for physics. F4, representing our 4 credits, times B3 to represent the quality points for getting a B. So we end up with 12 out of 16. So then here in cell H5, we do equal sum. We highlight that range of cells, and we end up with a total of 41.31.
I have a question.
Yes.
On column F, how do you get the 3,344?
So that is in row 13 here. The number of credits for these courses are 3 for English, and Mandarin, 4 for math and physics. So those are the number of credits for these classes here. 3 credits English, 3 credits Mandarin, 4 credits math, 4 credits physics. And then column B is the quality points possible, which I explain here in row 19. A equals 4, B equals 3, B plus is 3.33, C is 2, C plus is 2.33, and D is 1. So this is basically how your GPA is calculated. The number of credits times the quality points. So if you took a 3-credit class, the highest number of quality points you could have gotten was 12. When you have a 4-credit class, the 4 times 4, the highest possibility is 16. And then the total of your quality points here is divided by the total number of credits you took. So over here in B7, I'm going to do equals sum, open parentheses, and highlight our number of credits. Actually, I'm going to write the words total credits and then do that in C7. This way there's a label so you understand what it is. So the total credits is 14. And this is how your GPA is calculated. So in cell G6, we do equals H5, our 41.31, divided by C7, our 14 total credits. So the GPA for that semester is 2.95. And we have to bump it up to 3.14 or 3.15 rather. So I'm going to copy what we have in H5 here and paste it into G5, which for some reason does not want to paste properly. Copy, paste. Why does it keep deferring to 14? Okay. Should be G1 through G. No, G4, not FG4. G4. There we go. So it's that same 41.31 again. So now we again go to data, what if analysis, goal seek. So we want to set our G6, our current GPA, to the value of 3.15 by changing the 41.31. Because in order for us to have a higher GPA, we need to have a higher number of quality points. So we click OK, and it says cell must contain a value. So just click in a G5 and just type out 41.31. And then we're going to try the goal seek again. What if goal seek, we're changing G6 to 3.15 by changing cell G5. And hopefully when I click OK, I fix the error and it now works. And it did not. So we're going to type that 4131 again. I'm going to try it again. G6 to 3.15 by changing cell G5. Okay. And again, it did not work. So let's try equals H5 this time. And last time will be the charm, because goal seek is kind of finicky. If you've already watched the video, you saw this was also the case on the video. But in any event, if the goal seek had worked, your total number of quality points would have ended up being 44.1. So type that off and in the side somewhere and make it bold. And then if you were to do equals 44.1 divided by your total credits 14, you'll notice you get that GPA of 3.15. But if we do equals that 44.1 minus the 41.31, we end up with 2.79. So we're thinking our Mandarin professors might be able to change our grade. So the only way that we could get from 9 quality points to 12 is by having our grade changed from a B to an A. Because the 3.33, if we did the 3 credits times 3.33, would only give us 9.99. But if we do the 3 credits times the A, we end up with 12. So see how 9 plus 2.79 is a little less than the 12? So the only way we would be able to get that 3.1 GPA is if we end up with an A in Mandarin. So on row 17, where it asks what grade would you need in Mandarin in the second semester for the 3.515 GPA, you would need that A. Because the B plus does not give you enough quality points, because 0.99 is less than 2.7. Whereas the 12 minus the 9, 3, that's greater than 2.79. So if you get an A, you get the 9, or the GPA that you need. So we simply type next to there our answer that we need the A in Mandarin. Anything I need to review on that one? Like I showed you, the goal seek can be a little finicky, especially when you're using numbers like this, GPA wise, that may have more than 2 decimal places. As you saw in the first one, and you'll see on problem 4, more often than not, goal seek just goes through very quickly and solves the problem. So are there any other questions on problem 3? Like you said, this is kind of the tricky one, the most difficult of the 4 questions. No? All right then. Last but not least, we are on to problem 4. We're given our assumptions here down the bottom. I have a company that sells only one product. I sell 1,000 units of it each year. Currently, each of the products is $5. I have three costs to make the products: raw materials, labor, and administration. Currently, the raw materials are $2,500 a year. Labor is $2,000 a year, and administration is $500 a year. Obviously, these are very low costs. I made it very easy. This way, it's very easy to calculate. Starting next month, raw material is going up 5%, labor is going up 12%, and administration is going up 4%. Basically, a new year, we're going to increase the prices to stay in business. So you're asked, how much do I have to raise my current selling price now at $5 so that I break even? Basically, you're going to have to cover these increases in your costs: the 5% in the raw materials, 12% in labor, and 4% in administration. So the break even is to make sure that you're at zero rather than being at, a negative number where you're losing. So in column A, we're going to type units, price, materials, labor, and admin. So units, as I say in row 14, is going to be 1,000. So in B1 and C1, type 1,000, because that doesn't change. Each year I'm selling 1,000 products. And then row 15 says currently the price of the product is $5. So in B2 and C2, put $5. Then in row 17, it says currently raw materials cost $2,500 a year. Labor cost is $2,000 a year, and administration cost is $500. So I type these into those cells accordingly. Just as I spell out in row 17. 2,500, 2,000, 500. So then next to them in column C, it says raw materials is going up by 5%. So in C3, I do equals B3, our 2,500, times 1.05 to represent the 2,500 plus the 5% increase. And when I do that, I end up with $2,625. Then in C4, I'm going to do the same things to account for the 12% in the labor costs. So equals B4 times 1.12, which represents the 2,000 plus the 12% increase. And when I hit enter, that amount shows up as a percentage. So in the number pane here, I click and select currency to change it to money, and it ends up $2,240. And then lastly, it says our administration is going up 4%. So I do equals B5 times 1.04, which represents our $500 plus the 4% increase. So again, when I hit enter, that shows up as a percentage. So I select here from the number pane, currency, and we see we get $520. So obviously, since we're increasing all of them, they're all bigger than B1 in column B. So now in B6, I'm going to select the sideways M here, and it's going to highlight that entire column B. However, we just want B3 through B5, which are our costs, materials, labor, and administration. And obviously 2,500 plus 2,000 plus 500 is just 2,500 times 2, which is 5,000 when you hit enter. And we click back into that cell and autofill vertically so that it totals the 3 there. And you'll see that we have to cover an additional $385. So in cell B7, we're going to multiply our number of units times our price. So it's simply B1 times B2. Our 1,000 units we sell each year multiplied by the $5 we sell them at. We click enter. We end up with 5,000. We click back in and autofill it through. So that right now, both B7 and C7 say 5,000. Now, lastly, we want to calculate our profit. So we do equals B6 minus B7, and we broke even. We made $0 last year. We click back in. We autofill it across. And right now, it says $385, but technically that's negative because we've only earned 5,000 and we're spending 538 or $5,385. So we're going to use GoalSeek to change that to 0 in order to determine how much we have to charge with our price in order to make this 5,000 higher so that we're not losing $385. So we click data, what if analysis, goals. So we want to set cell C8 to 0. This way we're breaking even rather than losing $385. And we do that by changing cell C2. And hopefully this works this time. We click OK, and it did. It changed our negative 385 to 0 by changing our earnings to the same as our costs, by changing our price to $5.39. Technically $5.38.5, but it rounds up. So we click back on our home tab and we bold that so that now we have our answer. And that is homework 6, the goal seek. So is there anything on that you guys would like me to review through? If not, when you save it, you're simply going to go back into homework 6 and add in your submission there. Click on it, and you don't have to worry about anything the rest of the week, except, as I mentioned before, if you're still not in a group, go ahead and try and figure out. We have Naya, Faith, Shane, Nick, Calvin, Caitlin, Dan, Tariq. Like I said, somebody could join with Jadir and Viswal if they'd like. Somebody can join with Mariah and Leanne if they'd like. And then the other 6, try and get 2 groups together. Email me. Otherwise, if I don't hear from everybody by Sunday, I'm just going to add you guys into a group otherwise. So if there are no other questions with that, I bid you all adieu. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys on Monday.
Have a great weekend, Professor.
You can put me in any of those groups of 2. Okay, Tariq, I'll put you in with the other guys there, just to make it easy. And then I will. Okay, group 6. Okay. So now you are with Jadir and Viswal. Perfect. Yep. So now you'll be able to exchange messages with them on Blackboard through that group. All right. If there are no other questions, enjoy. I'll see everybody on Monday.